Hi guys, Asmo here, and today I'm gonna talk about the Scourge mechanic and the rewards from it, because there is some controversy around it. People on Reddit apparently think that this league is not rewarding, which is absolutely crazy to me. It's one of the most rewarding league mechanics, one of the craziest ones since the Delirium, and people are simply not seeing the potential of it because they are still not running juiced content. A lot of people talking about this are saying like, I run a T14 map and I didn't see much rewards out of that. Like, running T14 map is not really juiced content. Running T14 maps means you're like still progressing. It would be impressive if that was like Delirium map with scarabs, with sextants, with good watchstones and so on, but that is something different than just running an Alk and Go T14 map. Don't expect too many results out of that, because the rewards that you're gonna be getting are multiplicative. So a lot of people who are also complaining about this mechanic didn't really realize that it gives you quantity and rarity multiplier. Every single time you get an extra stack, you get 1% quantity, 1% rarity, and also your corruptions are increasing. So when you're corrupting the items and the maps, they're gonna get more juice. People still haven't figured out the good things to corrupt. There are definitely going to be specific uniques that you're gonna want to be corrupting consistently, just non-stop pumping these uniques until you get the good rolls. So that could be, for example, something like Carcass Jack. Carcass Jack is a very common and popular unique. It's fairly cheap to get at certain point in the league. Once it gets really cheap, you can buy just a bunch of them and keep corrupting them until you hit something like Explode with like -20 resistance or something like that, right? If you hit something like that, it's gonna be an absolute bank that you can make out of that, because it's crazy AoE damage and Explode on top of that. Everybody is gonna want that. So there are going to be really good things that you can go for in the corruption, but again, we haven't figured that out fully yet. So that's one thing that the rewards of the league have in store for us, but a little bit later. And the other thing is, of course, the league mechanic scales with how much juice you're putting into your maps. So just to explain this briefly, there are different levels of content that you can be running. So the newer players entering the map system, you will enter the Atlas, you start doing some maps, and you're like, okay, so I can use alchemy orbs, and there are gonna be a bunch of mods, and maybe I can quality them, right? So new people will like quality and alch their maps. And then there will be people who also go like, okay, maybe I want to run specific mods and go for a certain amount of quantity on the map itself. You can also corrupt it with the Val orb, okay? So you can do that. Then you can also start putting sextants, and sextants go on the watchstones, and watchstones themselves can also be crafted, or they can be unique watchstones. So that's the next level. Next level is having 4 watchstones and having 4 sextants on them, and roll some decent sextants that add extra monsters to your map. That's the next level. After that, the next level is unlocking specific Maven passives, right? So unlocking the passives on the specific regions, and also unlocking the middle Uncharted rounds passives, which will help just multiply the amount of effect that like different mods have on the maps, which just further increases the quantity and rarity and amount of monsters. So that's the next stage. The stage after that is to start adding Delirium orbs to your map. So you can start putting even just one Delirium orb is going to be pretty good, because it's going to add the Delirium monsters to your map, and it's going to just increase the amount of loot that you're getting. That's going to scale with everything else you're doing. The next step after that is to get your 5th device slot, map device slot, which is going to come from doing a 4-way legion. And after that, you can start putting 4 scarabs. You can start even doing higher quality scarabs, right? You can do gilded scarabs or winged scarabs if you have a strategy that can just turn out so much profit. Usually it is very worth it. Like, a lot of people are scared of using currency on their maps, and that's why they don't have currency. Because the more currency you invest into your maps in general, like, unless you're doing some really stupid things that make no sense, but if you just like read what it does, okay, adds extra monsters, I'm gonna put it on my map, sounds good, right? So as long as you're doing stuff like that, you're gonna just keep increasing the amount of loot that you're getting, and it just keeps going and going. You can keep adding prophecies, you can roll better watchstones, and it just keeps scaling. And if you stack different mechanics together, you can then also corrupt your maps. It just keeps going and going and going. So think to yourself, like, am I at the end stage of that, or am I actually at the beginning stage of that chain, right? Think to yourself, if you've entered the Scourge mechanic, were you doing like Nemesis 300% Delirium T16 map with good crafted watchstones with all the Maven passives unlocked and prophecies? I don't think you are. So if you're not doing that, anything that the league is not rewarding enough, keep in mind that there is still progression to be done, right? This is the best thing about this league, I think, that is the fact that there is progression. There is progression in your Crucible passives, so you can have the Crucible passives over time becoming better and better. So people like have hardly any passives. They run like just Alk and Go maps and they expect to have the same results as the maximum potential of the league, right? They just expect, oh, I'm not dropping Chaos and Exalted Orbs whenever I press the Scourge button. What happens? My game is broken, GGG. But in reality, the league mechanic is absolutely insane, again, because it scales exponentially. What that means is if you invest, let's say, 2 Chaos out into a map, you're gonna get like 10 Chaos out. But if you invest 4 Chaos, you're gonna get like 20 out. And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. Like the more you invest, the more Chaos you invest, the more per Chaos you're actually earning, right? So it's not just double the investment is double the result. Like double the investment will be like triple the result, and triple the investment will be like quadruple the result, and it just keeps going higher and higher. And basically that makes the league mechanic extremely rewarding. And this is something that experienced players who have played PoE for a really long time, who have played softcore and juiced maps, they immediately like saw this, right? They immediately see these multipliers and they're like, okay, this is insane. It's like I'm getting an extra map worth of monsters per map of monsters, and I'm getting like a crazy quantity multiplier. And then I'm gonna put it, like, if you really want to know like the tech to abuse this league mechanic, go to something like Glenna Cairns and pick them up like Necropolis, which has very tight layout, and everything is gonna spawn on top of each other, and you're gonna fight like 200 beyond bosses if you juice them up insanely high. So there is so much that we can still discover about this league mechanic and how to use it properly that people still haven't figured out. That is gonna make it absolutely insane and crazily rewarding. So don't listen to the people who are saying that the league mechanic is not rewarding. Just try to instead learn how you can run better content, how you can put more stuff into your maps, and you basically just gonna make so much currency and laugh at all the people who are thinking that you actually can't make any currency in this league, because that is absolutely ridiculous. So that's basically it. I hope this helps you a little bit understand that the league mechanic actually is rewarding, but you do have to just progress toward it, right? If you are someone who regularly gets to maps in the first week, then you're gonna have a really good time once you start unlocking all of these passives. Like in the second week and the third week, you're gonna get all the Maven things, you're gonna get enough currency so that your build can actually tackle that, and you're gonna do really, really well. You're gonna make so much currency out of this. And probably because of the Reddit crying and pressuring GG, they're actually gonna even buff it, which is absolutely insane in my opinion, and it's gonna be totally crazy. So you better make sure that you have a good build by then, because everybody's gonna be farming that. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time.